your pitch decks. They look like they're coming along really well. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. I guess now we're on the second or third week. Second week? We're on the second week. So, yeah. So today I have first of all, a really good friend of mine, Rosa, somebody that is, I hope that will enlighten your minds, especially in terms of the marketing side of your decks and your plan. So Carla is actually originally Mexican, but she's been in Bahrain for more than 14 years. Is that right, Carla?
Yes, long time.
She's Bahraini. You're probably more Bahraini than I am.
Yes, that's for sure.
And she's currently a regional merchant marketing manager for American Express.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, Carla, I'll let you just introduce a little bit about yourself and your background, and then maybe we can get started on your presentation.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for inviting me. I promise you I'll make this as fluid as possible. I wish we could have been doing this in person because it just makes it easier. But I did take the time to go through the profiles of your setups, your businesses, and it's very impressive, honestly. I love when I get to see there's a lot of really innovative ideas. And a lot of, the funny thing is when I was working on the presentation for today, I was thinking, you know, I don't think this is an audience where I want to take them through a PowerPoint, and I really want to talk to you heart to heart on what I see on a daily basis being in the working environment and the working place. I've been here for 14 years. I worked the first 6 years for our Capita. I was the head of marketing and PR for one of the real estate developments here. And then I moved on and I worked for 6 years as well with STC, with Viva back then. This was 2.5 years ago. And I was first, I set up their PR and then moved to be part of their marketing team. So I was managing all their brand campaigns and all the big things that you see on the airport, all the billboards and all of this stuff. And then 2.5 years ago, I made a career move. I moved to American Express, so financial sector, completely different ballgame. Definitely not as exciting as telecoms, but very insightful in terms of how do you really want to make sure to maximize utilizing your budget for a very, very narrow group of customers. So I think the best experience I can share with you in terms of how doing something big works, but also how you can also utilize very, very intelligently and in a very savvy way your budget to make sure that you get the most in terms of digital marketing. So I think, do you guys have the chance to unmute yourselves and ask questions while the presentation is going on?
Yeah,
Or
they can all speak whenever they, yeah.
Awesome. So if I may just ask, I'll take you through just a very generic presentation, but what I want to do is whenever you unmute you can feel free to ask a question at any point, anytime. Unmute yourself and just give me the name of the business that you're speaking on behalf of, so I know kind of, I put a name and also where can I route my answer to. So I'm going to share my screen for a little bit now. This presentation that you're going to see now, so before I start on this, what I want to explain to you guys is I divided today's presentation. I know where your head is at. You're now thinking about setting up a new business, or some of you have already have your business up and running for the last year. You're now looking at two things. How can you make your business relevant to potentially partner with anyone that can help you have the access to your target customers? And I do want to talk to you about partnerships. I don't want you to think that this is going to be purely on the acquisition side. One of the things that I do so much every day is I handle all the partnerships at the regional level. So I really want to tell you all the secrets of the Talavats, all the secrets of the Deliveroo's, the Zomatos, the big applications that you see nowadays. What are they good at? And I want to share that with you because I think that's probably one of the best learnings that I've had over the last 3-4 months since COVID-19. We've worked with them together. And I see how important it is, you guys, before you even think about marketing, before you even think about anything, how important it is that you set up your apps in the right way so that technically you're able to understand and get reports from your applications about what's the customer journey once you attract this customer in. Because if you become good at that, then in the future, when you're looking for a partner or you're looking to do campaigns, you will hold probably the biggest knowledge and the biggest asset to share, instead of you having to go and ask, you know, for funding. Or so we'll get to this on the second part of the presentation. And what I've done is we'll talk first about purely digital marketing, so paid digital marketing, and then I'll move on to what assets you can utilize from your own you know, communication channels that you have, in case that you guys will have no budget to launch anything. So what can you tap on? And then I really want to talk to you about partnerships, because I felt like when I was going through your presentations, I feel like a few of you can start already pitching partnerships. And I think that's probably going to be more valuable than anything else that I can leave behind today. So anyone has anything, any question or anything so far? So sharing my screen with you guys now. Okay. So Susie tasked me and she sent me this title of digital acquisition. So before I take you guys into the whole thing on digital acquisition, what I want to explain to you guys, when we talk about the spectrum of digital marketing, we talk about paid advertising and digital marketing. And within paid advertising, then you have digital acquisition. And I'll get you guys through that. But I want to explain to you, because I see a lot of, whenever I see companies that are advertising like crazy on Instagram and Facebook, and sometimes I'm like, this is such a big waste of money. Being advertised everywhere doesn't generally give you the best return on investment, and you guys need to know what you want to do with your budget so that you're investing in a very savvy way when you're launching your platforms and you want to attract customers. First thing I want to define for you guys, maybe some of you are aware of all this, but the first thing is we have different platforms on digital. The main platform, whenever you guys see, for example, you know, when you type in Google and you're searching for something and a message appears, for example, you're searching for holidays, and the first thing that appears is a staycation in Sofitel. Well, that's what's Google search. Then when you see these annoying banners that keep on coming and appearing whenever, for example, if you are someone that loves fashion and you're always constantly buying on fashion apps, for sure you're going to get all sorts of banners that appear whenever you're on Facebook or visiting websites that are probably promoting for you to buy on Net-a-Porter or the different brands that are selling, you know, retail online. And then you have YouTube. And I'm sure that on YouTube you see there's a lot of, you know, YouTube streaming advertising that comes along. All these different platforms, Google Search, Google Display Network, YouTube, all of this falls within the management of Google AdWords. So first things first, before you even choose which platform you guys want to have, you need to be setting up a Google AdWords account. And this is not something that you require anyone with a specific knowledge on marketing, or this is something all of you are capable of doing. The great thing about Google AdWords is that it has a lot of tutorial videos for any beginner to open an account and basically run through how to set up set up campaigns. Any campaign on Google Search, Google Display Network, YouTube, they all run through the same source. It's Google AdWords, and you basically open like a Gmail account with them. So it even can be tied up to your Gmail account. So this is first things first. The second thing is, separate from this, we have social media. And then in here, we have anything that is Instagram and Facebook. So anything that's instant sponsored ads, the stories, any of this is what you will put on the bucket of social media, which is another element of it. And I'll take you guys through what is the best practice for this. One definition I wanted to explain to you. So once you decide, okay, how do I know how to set up a campaign, or how do I know this? I'm sure whenever you get to the point in wanting to set up something, the first thing you need to know is you need to know how to, whenever you set up a campaign on Google AdWords, it's going to tell you what is the impressions you want to have, the reach, the click-through rate. And just to explain you guys what it means in very easy terms, impressions is how many times your ad has shown to everyone. So for example, if to me it shows 3 times, we count me as 3 times. So if you have a high number of impressions, that means that your ad is being viewed a lot. Reach is for us in the marketing world, the one thing that we measure the most in terms of success. Reach is the number of unique users that your ad is reaching. So you may have 1,000 impressions, but let's say this 1,000 impressions means 100 people viewed 10 or 20 times your ad. So, well, that's very little reach. But if you have if your impressions are very low, but your reach is very extensive, then it means you reached out to a lot of individuals rather than one people seeing it too many times, which is what you want to avoid because it becomes annoying. And then clicks is obviously whenever anyone clicks to your ad or to the URL in your ad. So URL, if you, for example, you know this call for action that's book now, or that's what we call a click. And your click-through rate is the number of clicks divided by impressions. In all industries, and I'm telling you guys this because when you open your Google AdWords account, if you want to run campaigns or if you hire anyone that has marketing knowledge to help you with this, and you're going to be paying that person, you want to make sure that this person is giving you for every campaign what you're going to be investing and what is the expected impressions, reach, clicks, and click-through rates. They have to deliver a report like this for every campaign that you run. And for search, a good or a healthy click-through rate is 1.91% or 2%. And for Google Display is very low, it's 0.35%. And I want to explain, I'll take you guys more through Google Display. I'm not a fan of Google Display. Everyone uses it here like crazy, but I feel it's a very annoying and a bit of an expensive tool, but we'll get through that. So up until now, all I'm explaining to you guys is definitions. So you know what Google AdWords is offering you, and you know what you have in social media. But the main thing is, when do you use them? Like when do you, yes. Can you hear me? I didn't hear. Was anyone asking a question? No?
Anfal, I think it was, Anfal, were you asking a question?
Or maybe mute your mic if you're not Anfal.
I think maybe it was, yeah.
Yeah, she's probably. Yeah.
So for Google search, you usually launch Google search campaigns when it's a product or a service. If you're going to be promoting your brand and you're going to be promoting, I would suggest that you don't even look into this tool. So what you want to do here is that if you have a product, so for example, and let me just, you're going to see me doing a few movements because I want to look into your profiles. So for example, in e-commerce, in jewelry, so for example, for Gold Souk Online,
your voice is going, it's not very clear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah? So for example, for Gold Souk,
sorry, maybe try without the headphones, just using the laptop mic, because it's.
Can you hear me better?
I think it's clearer. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I think it's clearer now.
With the mic is better, I think. With the mic is better.
Like this, I think it's better.
Closer to your mouth.
Perfect. So for example, for Gold Souk, guys, if you have a new line of, let's say, jewelry, a new product, a new line of jewelry that you want to be showcasing, let's say it's going to be a new line that's going to be live with a special Bahraini designer, and you really want to highlight it for a period of like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, this is a good tool to use. This is something that you want to do. You want to probably be looking into Google search.
But if what you guys want, let's say you're going to be launching your platforms from scratch, you just want people to know about them, you should not be investing in this platform, because what you're trying to promote is your brand. So that's a different thing. Okay? It's very easy to prepare Google search campaigns and AdWords. Very easy. When you create your account and you tell them that you basically say, I want to create a Google search account, I want to create a Google search campaign, there's a little box that comes up and it asks you to complete literally the headline of how do you want to appear your business, what's the subject headline, what is the URL, so where is the link that you want to take them to, what is the description of your business, extension is like what's your telephone, your business, the number of your business, your website, and what are the search words that you want to appear with. Search words will be all the keywords whenever anyone is looking, for example, on jewelry, Bahraini designers, Bahraini jeweler, online jewelers, any of that, those are that's what we call your keywords. So the pop-up chart that comes when you're completing your campaign asks you for this, exactly what I have here. What's your objective? So what is your target audience? I want to promote my new Bahraini designer jewelry to Bahraini women from 20 to 35 years of age who like fashion, who like jewelry. And then what is your time frame? I want the campaign to go live from the 1st of March to the 30th of August. What's your URL? Okay, you want to link them to your website, or you want them to land into downloading your app. Your extension will be, what is your business number? What is your business website? And your description, you're just going to write a very short description about newest Bahraini jewelry line for sale with gold souk. And your search words are the words that whenever anyone types them in, you want to appear. This is how we do Google search campaigns. It's very easy. You guys can create it yourselves once you have the account. But remember, you should only be doing it if you want to be communicating a product or a service. You shouldn't be using it if you want to be talking about your brand or launching your business. This is not the right tool. Now, Google Display Network, these are purely brand campaigns, okay? Google Display Network, basically what it is banners in all sorts of forms and shapes. You have to provide, once you create your banner, you have to provide something around 8 or 9 different banner sizes. And usually we just use Google banner ads whenever we want to be targeting anything that is a brand campaign where we want to generate sales. So for example, whenever there is a new movie at the cinema, you will see the cinemas spending money on GDN, because what they want to do, it's more brand related. They want to promote the cinema and then they want to promote the new movie. So it's more generic. I find GDN to be used, and it's a tool that's not easy to adapt. You need to have a designer in-house who creates the banners and does the different adaptations and uploads them into AdWords. GDN is something that I would suggest you do only if you reach a stage where you do a partnership. Let's say that you go into a partnership with, hopefully one of you guys can do a partnership with telecoms, and then you're launching your app together with, so in here, I'm going to give you an actual example I thought of. So one of you guys, you have this recycling business. I want to tell you the right wording. It's Alien E-Waste, okay? Yesterday, when I was looking into your competitor, you'd mentioned that Sane is a competitor. Now, actually, I would think Sane could be an amazing potential partner for you. Why? Because already we know that Sane is very much into CSR. They love all this type of projects. They're always trying to, they're pretty much out there on their CSR campaign with recycling. They invest on it. So how about approaching the CSR team for SANE and letting them know this platform is about to be launched? Can we use SANE, and can we work together whereby you have our platform, so you have a structured way of talking about recycling business? So it's a partnership. And if they were to say yes, that they like this, the great thing about this is you can create a Google Display Network campaign about your app being launched in partnership with SANE. And then what would you want to do is you have a beautiful banner that comes with the branding of both of you, and that whenever anyone clicks on it, takes them to download your app or to go into your website. And this is when I talk, okay, this is a brand campaign. This is when you really want to, you know, choose to go with GDN. And this is another thing, like when it's partnerships, when it's this type of opportunities. In here, I was just sharing like what's all the different sizes that you can have with GDN. YouTube streaming. I find YouTube streaming is very, very nice. It's an awesome way of promoting. And I used to see that a lot with all the other partners that I was working before with, all of the startups, as they use it a lot to communicate fun videos about what are the services that they have and that they offer. And in here, for example, what I would suggest, if some of you, and I will tell you who I think would be perfect for a platform like this. I just want to say the name correctly. There was, not Mavi, it's, yes, Medcore, okay? So Medcore, your target audience obviously is anyone that would want medical service at an affordable price. But you could do, I can see you explaining what your service is about in a really, really funny and interactive small video clip that gets done, where you can probably showcase to your potential target audience what your service is about, and they can just basically like download your app and have access to these amazing things. And you can even set it on the context of, you know, challenging times like COVID-19 and things like that. So it's a beautiful service. If you create a really nice video that you can have uploaded for anyone to see in your app, all you need to do is just run it through YouTube as well. And this is where I would see that you would get good value, you know, like it's this type of brand videos where you want to create awareness about the services that you want to do. Now, social media, and in here, guys, like, and by the way, stop me if you want me to like put like some more specific examples or share anything in a specific with you, like if we want to make this interactive, because I can go on forever because there's so many cool things that I can share with you. But for social media, biggest mistake I always see is everyone wants to be English speaking in Bahrain. Everyone wants to be putting out everything in English there. And there's such a huge target audience in Arabic. You need to know who you're talking to, and you should never be using the same tone of voice and the same content for English, the English speaking community and the Arabic speaking community. And as Bahrainis, you will know now that better than anyone else. So a lot of the things that happen in social media is if your platform is going to be catering primarily to Arab speaking community, to Bahrainis, to make sure your content is in Arabic. Don't shy away from it. Make sure your videos are in Arabic. Make sure your social media, your Instagram is in Arabic. It's fine. There's no wrong with it. And if you're going to be catering to both English and Arabic, then make sure that someone goes through and proofreads the English, because there is nothing worse than seeing an Instagram account in English with bad English. So be truthful to who you want to be speaking to, and make sure that you're using both languages wisely. This is probably the best advice I can give to you. And choose. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to be great in both languages. Some people really want to put forward their services only in Arabic, even their Instagram accounts. Facebook is 100%, guys, know it's an expat speaking community. If you open a Facebook account that will be talking about your services, that will be then linking them back into your app. Make sure everything in Facebook is in English. This is really for the expat community here. And the reason why I'm sharing all this with you is because all this information I'm sharing with you is all based on data when I was in STC. So we knew what worked where. So nothing in Arabic goes into Facebook. And if you're gonna be a B2B app, you don't need to be on Facebook. B2B meaning business to business. You guys, some of you are business to consumer. Majority of you are business to consumer. I don't think I saw any one of you being business to business, but sometimes you'll have to speak to B2B. So for example, the investment app, you will probably have to have a platform that relates more to the financial industry. If you want to be talking in financial terms, want to have some positioning on that, you have to go to LinkedIn. But if you want to be talking to the consumer that might be interested in your service, in your investment service, then you have to talk to them in another platform. But business to business is on LinkedIn. Business to consumer that speaks English purely for Facebook. And Instagram depends on whether you're going to be targeting Arabic community, English, or both. And then again, another piece of advice, don't launch all of it at once. Choose one thing and choose it wisely, and make sure it has good content, that you guys have the team that's gonna, if you're gonna be able to upload content on it frequently, you're gonna be able to update it frequently, then choose a platform. If you're not gonna be able, then it's better sometimes to have zero presence than bad presence all over, because it is noticeable. Facebook, you see this a lot. You see a lot of Facebook and Instagram sponsored ads and the videos. And in here, all you have to know whenever, so first of all, majority of this is set based on B2C. So whenever you want to reach consumers, there is for some of you, there is an opportunity to reach SMEs as well. How do you do that? When you set up the campaign, okay, and then again, all you do is you open a business account on Facebook and Instagram, and they're both linked. All you do is whenever you create a campaign, and then again, in there you're gonna see there's a step-by-step how to do a campaign. There's an option for you guys to set up a target audience. And in here, I wanna stop a little bit, because all of this, guys, is paid, meaning you're gonna have to put some money in. The good news is Facebook and Instagram are not probably as expensive as you guys think it would be to invest. And if you know how to invest wisely, you probably can launch a few campaigns a year with no more than $1,000, $2,000. Just to give you an idea, for us, I'm talking about now in American Express, if we launch a campaign and I wanted to have like immediate impact in the UAE, for example, I just launched a campaign with Atlantis. We have a staycation in Atlantis in the UAE. I just want to generate some noise, and I want people to click and go into the booking page of Atlantis. I just want to generate noise, and honestly, I spent $2,000 for 3 months. It's very little, and it's great. What I do is I cap my investment. When I set up my account, I say I want to do a staycation campaign for Atlantis. I want anyone between 20 to 40 years of age to see it. I want it to be men, women, and I set my profiling. What I do is I say I don't want to spend more than $500 a month. And by the way, you guys have the chance. You can even set a budget per day. You can say I don't want to spend more than $20 a day. I don't want to spend more than $10 a day. So automatically the tool will let you run these campaigns, and it will cap. The moment you get to your spend, it will stop. I like a lot Facebook and Instagram, guys. You get good return on investment, and you don't need crazy budget. So if you're concerned about like how much marketing budget do I need to set aside for this, I never spend, and this I'm a corporation, so I never spend more than sometimes $300 on a big campaign. So imagine, you can do wonders with it. If I am you looking at all the profiles of your businesses, I would get my head around really knowing how to manage Facebook and Instagram to run campaigns. Because I think for you guys, this is probably where you're going to see the best outcome out of it. And the cool thing about it is that when you launch your apps, if you guys are smart enough to set up your app in a way whenever anyone accesses it and they register on it and you capture that name, the wonderful thing, guys, is that you can run campaigns on Facebook and Instagram specifically by email. So you can be targeting very specific, you can retarget the people that have registered with you. Meaning, now I go and I register in your app, okay? You guys in the back end will be able to know that Carla has registered as a new user in the app. She's interested in our services. Awesome. In a month from now, you go, guys, you collect everyone that has come into your app over the last month, and you open an Instagram campaign whereby you target me. By the way, and you target me with one of your services. So this is how you guys, this is why you sometimes download an app and then you see that you end up seeing advertising from this app directly to you on Instagram and Facebook. That's because they have your contact details and because they're able to run campaigns with your email. So this type of loop for you guys to understand is super important because this allows you can't be running campaigns all the time open for everyone. At the point in time when you have a solid database, you need to know how to run campaigns for your database. At the beginning, when you launch, you can open because what you want is you want the numbers in. Once you get the right numbers in, what you want is you want to be targeting your people. You want to create loyalty. You want to create knowledge on them. You don't want to be all the time talking to everyone because it's expensive exercise and it doesn't get you anywhere. So in your launch phase, what I would say, once you launch in your business, the first maybe 3 to 6 months, you want to explore setting profiles that are open, you know, women, men from this age to this age that like doing this. Once you have targeted them and they have come to you into your app, then you have to talk to your base, nurture them, give them content, give them updates. You know, you can just work on them. Anyone has a question up to now? You guys, you're the best audience.
I mean, this is just to bring some kind of connection. I mean, I think, you know, the session that we had on Sunday, we're talking about retargeting. This is exactly what she's talking about.
Actually, I have a question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I like the idea that from having like collecting the email, then you retargeting the same people. So until they buy or sell, but how you collect the email from landing page or how? Or through the campaign itself?
Yeah, so this is the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You're all setting on this. Very good question, and I'll tell you why, because this takes me to the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys, which is your own channel. All of you are setting up your apps, am I correct?
Okay, yeah.
You're working, have they been finalized or you're working on them now?
They're at different stages. Different people are at different stages. Most of them are still in the process of developing their apps.
Awesome.
Actually, yeah, okay.
I'll tell you why.
Actually, we
If you
are not a platform because we are designing a software, so we are a bit different and targeting different segments. So maybe our
You're the 2D, 3D?
Say again?
You're the company that's in 2D, 3D software?
No, yeah, the Kinder House.
No,
Yeah.
she's the
Social education.
Yes.
Education.
So what is your platform? Something similar to Zoom? So it's a platform?
No, we are just designing a software. It's not a platform.
Okay.
It's not an application.
I get you. Okay. Now for you is different because what you need to set up is different than the rest because you're not going to be setting up an app. What you're going to be setting up is you're going to be having to set up a website. most
a
likely.
website and a specific server.
Correct. So your website. So what I'm going to tell you guys now, it's probably the 1 million question that you ask me. And the one thing I've learned across working for 14 years in marketing, the biggest mistake I've seen everyone doing is to really do good marketing, guys. You have to set up the right app or platform, or for you would save a lot of money if you think about now, how can you set up your platforms in a way where you can use them to target marketing wise anyone that comes into them. Meaning, when I spoke like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a call with 3 different partners. Okay, I had a call with Deliveroo, I had a call with Zomato, and I had a call with Talabat, with the regional. So what they do is they take us through what they call fulfillment. They explain to me, so Carla, I want to do a campaign with them. And this is, I'm talking to you guys business, and it's very important because this is real life. I have budget and I want to run a campaign with them. So I come to them and I tell them I have money and I want to run a campaign through your platform. Each of them have different ways of targeting their customer base. The best one is Deliveroo and Zomato. They're so savvy. The moment you register, they basically are able to capture anything, what we call the customer behavior in their platform. They know what you like, which days do you like it, what cards do you like, what credit cards you like using the most. They know what services you like the most in their platform. So we call them aggregators because we don't call them apps. We call them aggregators because they have different vertical businesses. They have flowers, they have supermarkets, they have this. So they know when you go on them, when do you consume on them, out of their business, what do you consume the most? If you're mostly on the F&B delivery side, or if you're mostly on the flower arrangement side, or they know when do you use them the most, on the weekends, in the mornings, in the evenings, in the nights. And the most beautiful thing is, based on this knowledge that they capture on your customer behavior on the back end, they use their own platform to target you back again. If you realize, when you're like sitting down, the other day I received a pop-up from Carriage telling me, have you forgotten us? You haven't placed an order for the last month. So this is not, this is a non-paid channel. They don't pay anything. This is just them being very intelligent in how they set up the back end of their system to know that anyone that doesn't consume their service for the last 30 days, they automatically can push what they call a pop-up message. And why I'm telling you guys this is because I really need you to think as an end user when you're creating your platforms. I want you to assume, guys, that you are not going to have a lot of marketing budget to be spending on this fancy Instagrams and Facebook and that. So how can you make your platform intelligent enough, even if you have to invest a little bit more on it? And the same applies for how can you make your website intelligent enough so that when you need to retarget anyone that comes into it, you can do it utilizing your own channels. And sometimes you do have to invest in some people that can come and have this technical knowledge to do it on the back end. So for apps, if you think about it in a very simplistic way, when I come and I register in your app, you have to, you will get from me most likely my email, my name, my email. Some of them ask you, are you female or a male? And other than that, just your country of residence. From there onwards, it's all a technical setup that they do on the back end to know certain rules of how I behave on the platform. And this is very important because, and it's a technical thing. I can't tell you, it's not a marketing thing. It is a technical thing. So you do know, you do need to have someone that can deliver technically this for you. The beautiful thing about this is if you do it right, then all you do is you set up what is called pop-up messages, which are the ones that come up and they pop up. Pop-up messages whenever you want to generate certain behavior and the people that are in your platform. You can also, for example, because you're capturing emails, you can run email campaigns or what we call direct mail campaigns. How do you do that? Is your platform is going to tell you on the back end let's say by the end of each month, it's going to tell you all these people register. And let's say you want to send them a message just saying, you know, you've been for 4 weeks in our platform. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And this is the services we can offer you. All you do as you look into, in our case, I'll tell you, we have exact targets. So it's a software that allows you to send EDMs to a huge database. So what these companies do is, obviously they do it automatically, but I'm saying how you can do it in a very easy, basic way is you buy a membership with the exact target, and you will need it if you want to be sending direct mails, which is the cheapest and the most affordable way of doing direct marketing. It's not expensive to have an account with them. And what you do is your platform gives you a list of who has registered, name and email, and then you just put that Excel sheet into your exact target, and then you can send an EDM. They have predefined what we call HTMLs, which is the template that you see when you receive a direct mail. So, and you just send that out, and you get reportings. Like I'll show you some of the reportings that you can get on things. And I'm like literally sharing with you like real life examples of, you know, things that we use. So for example, let me see if I probably wouldn't have it here. It's here. Oh no, I don't have it here. I'll look for you guys. I want to show you like a real life example of our report is, but the report that comes back to you tells you what is the number of clicks, the open click rate. All of these things are delivered by exact target, you know. And let me just, whilst I'm here, I can share with you, for example, examples.
What's the name of the report? What's the name of the report?
Software is called Exact Target. Okay, so now what we're saying is, think about when you're setting up your apps about how can you do things in a way that you can utilize it. So there are things that you want to tell your app designer to take into consideration. First thing is, once you get anyone registering on it, you want to know, you want a database or a reporting of it. You want to understand who's coming in, and you want to be able to look at it, and from where are they coming in. You want to be able to put pop-ups, the pop-up messages. You want to be able to host banners. It's very important as well, because I see a lot of, you know, if you're able to host banners, the cool thing about all this is if you think as a marketeer when you're setting up your apps, guys, then you're going to be able to then even sell sometimes this spaces to other companies. Imagine you get really big quorum of people coming in, and then you become, you know, you have a huge amount of customers or a huge amount of people registered in your app. The amazing thing is, then you can go to a partner and say, if you want to have, you know, access to my database, I'm going to allow you to have a banner on my app, and I'm going to sell you the space, and I'm going to sell it to you for 500 dinars a month.
Yeah.
And believe me, companies do this.
So yeah, I mean, Maha and Jane, today we were actually just talking about this just before this call, looking at how they can, you know, utilize also ad space within their current app for doing the same thing. So it's something that, you know, some of the companies have been thinking about as a potential, you know, additional revenue stream for their app.
And also, Carla, Amy's asking, like, she uses MailChimp. She's like, have you had an experience with that? Would you say that Exact Target is better?
Exact Target is more professional. It's more reliable than MailChimp. MailChimp is good if you already have it, there is nothing wrong with it, but I like more Exact Target because Exact Targets, also based on practice and on what you prefer the most. But what I like about Exact Target, you can have what they call dynamic emails, and they're really nice because they have like rotating banners. Anything that's animated on an email also gets you better chance of opening it. So when you create your content for your emailer, also make sure that is nice, that is fresh, And I'm glad that you guys start thinking about utilizing your own platforms. You see, to utilize your platform, to be able to sell advertising space, there's one thing you guys need to have, which is you got to have the right number of registered users. Because if I am Amex and I want to pay you to have my banner on your platform, I'm only going to do it because you have a big audience in it. And for you to have a big audience on it, you probably would have had to do, when you launch it, a good 3 to 6 months of hard work of putting your brand and your services out there, maybe investing a little bit on Instagram and Facebook paid advertisement to get all these people to come in, download your app, register, and then you can go and say, you know what, American Express, I have, for example, the investment app. I mean, why wouldn't that be an awesome service that we can offer as a benefit in one of our cards? So this is something that you can sell a financial institution. Why not? Like, but you can come to me and say, I'm willing to give you access to my platform, but it's going to cost you this amount of money, you know, to put advertising on it. Or always think of your platforms not only as a way of communicating a service. Think of yourselves as, how are you going to get money out of what you're creating, and how are you going to be communicating through your own platforms if you don't have budget? Because chances are you might not have a lot of budget. So what do you do to make it easy for you to communicate? Make sure that you get the mobile phone. Why? Because then you can send SMSs. You can send WhatsApp. Nowadays it's so easy. And I'm talking to you about the easiest route to do marketing, not expensive ones. Just think about how you get targeted every single day and what are the easiest tools that you get targeted by, so you can implement that into your own apps. And the more intelligent you guys set them up, the better for you, because then the least you're going to have to go and spend on digital marketing, you know, like crazy. Because you're going to be at American Express, I can tell you most of our marketing gets done 90% using our own platforms. When have you ever gone and seen these big billboards like STC about American Express? You barely see them, because I don't have to, because I don't want to talk to everyone. I just want to talk to my card members. When I was in STC, I used to spend so much budget targeting everyone, but it's different. There's a telecoms and they want to talk to everyone and they want to have a big base, and but Amex is not. Amex just wants to talk to the card members. So I barely even spend money in Amex, honestly, guys. I spend most of my time doing direct mails. I spend a lot of my time doing, we have a beautiful platform that showcases offers to everything is in-house, everything. Pop-ups in the app. The app is very lenient to communicate, to pop up. And it has something that when you're creating your apps, you have to create what is called in the business language, SLAs. Meaning, think about someone that's coming to your app and hasn't interacted at all or searched for a service or anything. Your app needs to automatically talk back at it after 1 month or 1 week, or an SLA of 1 week. So you have to do what is called create scenarios. Think about your customer journey in your app and create the scenarios, and create for every person that's not interacting, how are you going to reply? All this, when you're creating it, you need to map these journeys.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. Also, we talked about it. We'll be talking more about is the customer experience. You know, this is all now the time for your experience journey. You know, the journey and the way that you use is huge in all senses in all businesses. So I think we're going to be doing more of that as well later on in other weeks. But yeah, go ahead.
Anyone, any other question, guys, when it comes to acquisition campaigns? Acquisition campaigns are, there's many different types of acquisition campaigns as well, guys, depending. What I took you through was mostly digital marketing. And then these campaigns are tied up to acquisition when you tell them click here, and then they click there, and then they fill up a form. And then you receive that form and those details. That's when it's an acquisition campaign. That's mostly what you do when you launch. It's either download the app or give us your contact details. Either way, you're going to get that information. But it is important that all of you have either Exact Target or MailChimp, because once you get this data, you want to know what to do with it. And even if you don't have someone in marketing in your business now at the launch stage, you don't need to do much, just the basic, you know, just make sure whatever you do is very, very, very targeted and very clean. have any of you developed any marketing plans in terms of, you know, what you have in mind to do, you know, to launch? I would like to hear more about, you know, like a bit more about what you guys have in mind.
Anyone still there? No, I don't forget you also have time with her tomorrow. So I know some of you booked some time tomorrow. I think it occurs between 11 and 1 tomorrow. So if you do want to also go through in detail on your own with her, but
Yeah.
is someone there that wants to, I think everyone has, because they're very diverse in terms of what they're doing. I'm sure they have all different, you know, speaking on a business on one-to-one is probably maybe more beneficial. Does anyone have any questions for Carla?
Yeah, sorry, I've got a quick question. In regards to, sorry, my name's Jane. I'm with Bahrain Pop-Up Market, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow, so looking forward to that. But just when you were saying about adding Arabic captions, that's great. Of course, we can do that. Would you say, like, as a primary, you know, like on an Instagram caption, I see that people have English captions, and then they'll put like Arabic captions underneath. Would you say it should always be English first or Arabic first?
Depending of, but you're, I know the profile of your business. So to answer your question, you will put first English and then the Arabic.
English, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
correct.
brilliant.
You 100%. I follow your pop-up markets.
Yes.
So, but for you, I would say like definitely English first. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. I'll pick your brains more tomorrow. I'll have my coffee ready.
Yeah, definitely. I love these things, guys. Like, you know, there's so much. I think honestly, another area where I can say, if I can share a piece of advice, is look for partnerships, guys. So there's a lot of quick wins when you go out. So look at the big companies. Look at the big STCs, the Vatelcos, the Sains. They have access to a big database. Find a way, and when I say this is telecoms, not all of you are going to fall in this, but you know, for example, one of your the one that's doing the shoe for
Smart shoe.
The smart shoe. This, I mean, this is just something out of this world. Now I love it. And if I would think like, you know, your target audience is going to be so narrowed and it's going to be so specific, you're not going to be doing Instagram and Facebook. So I would say for you, what you have to do is you're going to start looking most likely since now on the partnership side. So you're going to have to be going to all of these partners, mostly in the medical sector, who might be interested in partnering with you to showcase your product, you know, and this is another thing, like this is a different type of approach. That's why it's good that we have the sessions tomorrow one-on-one, because for example, I see here some of you guys will do better with just the partnership side rather than this big spend on marketing. But for pop-up, I would say 100% you have to do social media. Like there's no questioning about it, because everyone looks for you on social media. So some of you have to know as well that you have to do partnerships, and I think you can get further, you know, further with a partnership rather than with advertising. And it's not late to start doing the partnership approach from now, not waiting until things, you know, are more evolved and you have the final platform ready. Like seeking who you can do a partnership at an early stage is much better. Because then what they will probably give you access is to a database that you don't have. And what you're going to give them access is to the availability of a unique product or service that they don't have.
Definitely. We've already been actually approaching people saying, like, this is our tried and tested business model already that you might be aware of, giving them awareness of what we're doing in the program, like through the incubation period that we're doing, and getting people excited about it. And like we've already secured some vendors. So it's good because it's that cross collaboration partnership that you're talking about. So yeah, all hands on deck.
Yeah, awesome. And for example, for Argento, like when I saw the profile, like you guys would do amazing if you approach a developer that's going to be handing over villas. Why? Because what you would want to have is when they do the villa handover, you guys would want your product or service probably to be like, let's say a one-pager. It can even be a leaflet or a brochure, anything that goes into the handover that gets given to the homeowners. because these homeowners are going to want to rent their villas and they're not going to want to hire like property management to do this on their behalf. So you see, you have to think as well, like you probably get more from that than from doing Instagram ads. So you have to think about also the profile of your business. How can you do a partnership beforehand that can give you better outcome?
These are all really, absolutely brilliant advice, guys. And I really urge you, if you have time tomorrow, and if it works in Bettina time, to like just contact Amira or just put it on the Slack channel, and we can arrange more. Like, I think, because you can see everybody has a different approach.
Correct. And
you made me think about other approaches, our approach as well. I mean, it's good food for thought. It's good to see that, you know, you have to, it is true. It's like not everything's, you can't just pick everything. I know I saw some of your things, Instagram, Facebook, but you know, maybe one part doesn't work for you, so you shouldn't be like hitting them all, you know? So I think it was really interesting to see that, you know, it's very bespoke, and getting the right people and targeting the right people is your way to getting your customers, the proper customers that will stay with you.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is something which I think we started to identify in the past couple of days with some of you guys during the one-on-ones about which channels actually make sense and which ones don't. And I think moving forward with the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to get more and more, you know, clarity on what the best approach and when to approach each you know, each platform.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Carla, so much for your time today. Awesome. It's been awesome. Really, really thank you for everything. I hope all of you guys enjoyed it, and I'm sure lots of questions. And we hope to see you soon, Carla. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll be joining you in the calls just for the fun of it.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, guys, and good luck with everything. And if you need anything, and if it's not now, just reach out to Susie. She'll give you my contact details.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carla.
Take care.
At 5 o'clock, yeah, for the next session. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.